Dr. Amit Andre, known as Born to Learn, and a creatively inspiring professional who has traveled across 78 countries in his 15 plus years of experience and comes with a strong blend of technology and business in domains like telecommunication, banking, financial, insurance, engineering, manufacturing, retail industries, and pharmaceutical. Very wide range he has explored. A firm believer of sharing the knowledge, Dr. Amit has been invited as a technical speaker by some of the renowned organizations and institutions like Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, Hong Kong, University of Nairobi, Kenya, Symbiosis Center of Information Technology, Pune, University of New Hampshire, USA, and many other corporates across 63 countries. His professional career has been aspiring to many distinction of leading 150 projects with keen interest in learning and development, strategizing action plans, project management, business extension, and people management. I'm very happy to inform that Dr. Amit is a good swimmer and good cricket player. Also showcases a fantastic combination of dedication, consistency, and intelligence with his qualification. He is a PhD in artificial intelligence and computer science, also PhD in data science and analytics. He is also Microsoft certified trainer in variety of technical courses, MBA in international business and leadership and sustainability. He is BE in computer science with several other technological international certificates. Now, with this, may I invite a knowledgeable and multi-talented personality, Dr. Amit Andre. He will talk upon interdisciplinary applications of AI and DS. Over to Dr. Amit Andre.
Thank you very much, sir, for a very lengthy introduction, but it was good. Thank you very much. Um, Good afternoon, all the students. So today we would basically focus on uh, talking about interdisciplinary aspects of artificial intelligence, because during these 3 days of workshop or series of webinars which is happening, you might have explored multiple things, multiple products, multiple examples of artificial intelligence in the industry. However, while doing that, it is very important for all of us also to understand what exactly is the relevance of these applications in the segment, in the industry of AI. So when we talk about AI as an interdisciplinary area, we will also have to work out and combine artificial intelligence with one or more or other disciplines in the industry. For example, for every industry, there is something which AI is contributing to. So we will have to understand different segments and the industries where it is being contributing on the artificial intelligence as a platform. If I have to give you a general examples, in robotics, we have mechanical engineering, control engineering, which play a major role. We have reasoning about the actions, spatio-temporal reasoning, or other areas of AI where important purposes besides robotics are applied. There are many researches which are applied on different AI methods, which definitely helps in computer vision and mechanical robots to automate the complete segment. If I have let's take a look at fundamental areas, or in the industry what are the different areas and the focus of AI. So the first area where which we can talk about is robotics. As I said, the interdisciplinary area of robot, generic understanding of that talks about knowledge representation and reasoning. Now when I say knowledge representation and reasoning, it is basically a logical conclusion of what actions needs to be performed, which are agent based and depends on single or multiple agents in the system. However, if I have to be specific, it is very important to work on robotics with sensors having computer vision contributing to the machine learning components overall. So By default, when we talk about robotics interdisciplinary area, we will have generic understanding as well as specific needs into that particular area. Second example, if I have to give you of interdisciplinary area, is nothing but human machine. So what are we talking about when it comes to human machine interaction? When we talk about human machine interaction, yes, we will also have to talk about the logical machine learning and reasoning, with common sense reasoning, with logical reasoning, with seasoned reasoning, with computational reasoning, and multi-agent segments. And why and what kind of technologies will help here? We will need to understand cognitive modeling. We will need to understand human interaction. We will need to understand NLP. We will need to understand and define the objective of game playing and entertainment industry overall, which is an interactive industry these days with AR, VR components. So it is very important to understand what kind of human machine interaction our AI product wants or what we try to create. The third example of the interdisciplinary segments would be knowledge bases which can be created, which is nothing but huge, large volume data banks which needs to be worked out. Because every machine or every area where we work out, we will have to create and define the data. And with that data, appropriate machine will be trained and defined. So in this presentation, we will understand the fundamentals of all these industries and areas where we plan to apply and work on this particular segment. So artificial intelligence, everybody now is aware with this series of webinars that what exactly is artificial intelligence, which by default, and there are many definitions over artificial intelligence, which refers to different scientific parameters to create computer systems to stimulate human thoughts and behavior. However, let, let's take a step back and try to address the most important part of this technology, which is intelligence. What is intelligence? When we ask this question to ourselves, we will ourselves will have multiple examples and scenarios on what kind of intelligence a human process. According to Wikipedia, intelligence has defined in different ways, including abilities for abstract thought, understanding, communication, reasoning, learning, planning, emotionally attaching with the intelligent factors and problem solving segments. So intelligence is most widely a subject which is studied in humans, but has to be observed in animals and plants also for understanding and training our machines. So there are numerous definitions of of intelligence, with the hypothesis about intelligence having been proposed before the 20th century with no consensus reached by anybody. However, we will have to understand, because when we talk about intelligence, it has to be, and that too when we talk about artificial intelligence in the technology segment, which talks about artificial intelligence, we will have to define the correct definition and work accordingly, because all interdisciplinary acts will depend on the objective with which we are defining and working on this intelligence. So intelligence can be a human, intelligence can be natural, intelligence can be engineering, and intelligence can be artificial also. Human intelligence is perhaps best known and discussed among broad population. However, natural intelligence refers to all living beings, be it human or animal or plant or any living being where there is a growth. And artificial intelligence is about non-alive entities, typically machines and computers. Alien intelligence coming under this criteria, and we are trying to work out artificial intelligence by replicating human intelligence onto the computers and machines. And there are various parameters in every industry which apply or which work on these segments. So most importantly, while working or while defining artificial intelligence into interdisciplinary aspects irrelevant of need in the industry, we will have to understand the principle of multiple knowledge. A principle of multiple knowledge will come from the experience or from the problem statement for which the objective of AI applications are defined. So the principle and the paradox of multiple knowledge basically exists in the weak and strong version of every activity. In the weak version, the principle states that better results will be obtained if several systems will be designed and sensibly combined together compared to the best of the single systems, which basically takes you to neural networks, which basically talks about distributed computing. And there is a different segments of universal Turing machines which are supported by multiple analysis frameworks, which encompasses of formal simulation, Turing machines, empirical studies, human anthropological studies, physical studies, and many. And it depends on different industries overall. So it basically creates a hue about where and what can be applied, whether it's a medical area, whether it's a domain specific mechanical industry, whether it's an industry specific to manufacturing goods, whether it's an industry specific to agriculture, what all and everything of that is derived from human intelligence. So, during past few decades, where we are experiencing the artificial intelligence, there are different methodologies it is coming up with. And artificial intelligence, by default, has to combine with different cognitive sciences, which are highly related discipline, which led to numerous application results. And it is based on the knowledge systems which are created. Connected with the success and the large applicability of knowledge systems, a question arises concerning the bounds of their applicability. And that's where the realization of professional industries comes into the picture. So central subject of the complete contribution is to analyze step-by-step process and define these knowledge-based systems. So AI basically consists of various approaches which talks about cognitive, which talks about conventional, which talks about ES, which is expert systems, these technologies, it is very important for all of us to understand to create the correct knowledge base. And from where will we get the correct knowledge base? It's from the data. So, from data to knowledge is the most important role of context. Let us first of all try to emphasize the important role of context in development of use of these computers as primarily data processing device, whether it's a robot, whether it's a machine, whether it's a human, whoever is writing this program. The story basically starts 10 years ago when the first computer have been constructed with suitable technical devices for computing and distributing with number crunching techniques for AI. And putting an item into this database means it has to establish the relationships with the learning which will happen, with the learning which will happen in the structure of knowledge. And that will basically define the characterization approaches. So what are we actually doing? We are training our machines to work as we want as a human, which will probably make human as a controller and machines as a work. So while working with this data to define the correct structures, it is very important.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Hello.
Representation. Hello.
Sir, actually your voice is breaking. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Okay. Sorry, I think there could be some network fluctuation.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there are different aspects of data which will derive and create the computational wisdom while we work on the AI techniques. So it is very important for us to understand the different multi-agent systems in the industry, which defines with the current trends and future challenges. And that's where artificial intelligence comes into the picture, where interdisciplinary the management currently found in the systems ranging from washing machines to Airbus A380 aircrafts requires a proper mechanism and technique. And artificial intelligence basically tries to solve most of it by human intervention and mimicking a human through different paths in the technology, which can be game playing, which every machine beating human chess players, which can be optimization like production or logistics or automation, pattern recognition, which is detection of trends and patterns, maybe in a medical or a business industry or a sales part, computer vision, maybe navigation of autonomous mobile robots, analysis of medical images, which are very much equivalent to driverless cars or robotic operation surgeons. Or if we move towards more detailed, which is speech recognition, which allows you to interact like Amazon Alexa, or intelligent control, which provides adaptive and intelligent behavior to control the process. So when we apply AI techniques in several disciplines, it is considered with the perception, with the reasoning, with the knowledge, with the planning, and with the learning of that philosophical industry where we need to create artificial intelligent beings. So AIB is the new friend which all of us will have, and we as engineers will have to study the different applications of these industries in the segment. So this will play an important role in all the future challenges comes up, which comes up with the perspective. Let me take an example uh, of perspectives of using membrane computing in control of mobile robots. Now we know that there are different AI-inspired methods have a long tradition in controlling of mobile autonomous robots and number of important concepts, tools, and techniques overall on the membrane computing. But while end user comes in the picture, the most recent interest in the paradigm talks about natural computing, which refers to membrane computing on robotics. So basic idea of membrane systems to separate computing processes in different compartments, which are nothing but membranes, which are able to intercommunicate sounds appealing to researchers in autonomous robotics. And based on these basic membrane structures, different NPS, which is numeric processing systems or numeric P systems, which are different classes defined with the computing models inspired by cell structure in which numerical variable evolves. So NPS model has different examples as a performer, as a controller, as a design, with the experience which happens with both NPS and ENPS, which is express models which define the autonomous mobile robot behavior. So while working with the AI, with understanding the membrane structure in pushing the correct data and training the machine, this will play a major role in the disciplines related to electronics, in the discipline related to machine learning and overall. So as we understand that membrane computing is a bio-inspired branch of natural computing, however, it also creates the structure and function works with ENPS. ENPS is enzymatic numerical P systems, which will be a special kind of values which will be defined with the artificial intelligence. So mobile robot computing problems will have CUDA, will have UDA, will have GPUs, will have different frameworks with which these simulators will work. However, it is also important for us to create a anonymous and an autonomous creature, and it's human who would be creating that, and that will be further applied to different techniques which have different data processing experiments which can be worked with technologies like Kafka, Scala, and overall data processing big data segments. And this play a very important role in the robotics industry, which when I say robotics industry, it by default covers your mechanicals, it covers mechanics, it covers electronics, it covers telecommunication, and it covers computers and IT. So it is not a job of one single industry to specific. So that cumulatively creates a value in the robotics industry and the action and the learning which needs to be applied. Secondly, if we have to talk about one more discipline, which is medical healthcare. Now, medical AI systems, which are basically treatment management systems. Now, when I say treatment, they are not just transactional, they have the medical informatics in the field, which applies AI on the medical data overall. And these integrations are done and understood or with the data processing and data science experts in identifying the AI researchers, which can be divided into two groups. One is certainly the doctors, pragmatics, for whom the system performance is more important, and then the computers or technology experts. So medical AI education basically is governed and accredited by American Medical Informatics Association, which has demonstrated the need and the activity in the application of treating the patients using the computation models, and it increases the performance overall in the values. So that's one of the important phase or interdisciplinary where medical also comes and joins hands with different AI techniques. Third interdiscipline which I can talk about is the business, basically customer experience, UI UX experience to the user. So what happens in this UI UX segment is every user, every end user will play an important role in defining the correct values in defining these systems. So these industries will talk and create multiple aspects on conventional AI, on expert systems, on intelligence, neural network, and Turing test each and every time. So let's talk about these techniques which are there. First, conventional AI, which is also called as symbolic AI or ANI, which is very logical and uses programming that emphasizes the statistical analysis to calculate the prediction, to calculate the probability of various outcomes in order to find the best solution, which is very conventional and which is majorly used in all segments. Then we talk about expert systems, which can be industry specific, like I gave you an example of robotics, of healthcare, of human resources, of sales, of business, of industries, of automation. All of these will be artificial intelligence, which will play an identical and most important structure. Then we have computational intelligence, and that's where topics like quantum computing comes into the picture, which allows the faster processing of your neural networks, of fuzzy systems, of evaluation of results of data. So it's an offshoot segment where every software company will have to define the correct intelligence and iterative learning process for your machine learning, deep learning algorithms. Then the next one which we have is neural networks. As I said, so this will use a software to define the workflow of neurons in human brain, which are actually running to activate or to action some task. And that's the structure and the speed with which data are processed. A simple example we can have here is, the blink, the speed of every eye blink which a human does, and if something comes ad hocly, it immediately closes and bunks. How is it happening? There is a processing, and that processing is happening in milliseconds, and we will have to create our systems which will adopt the similar mechanism to apply the neural network on faster processing engines overall. Now, Turing test was the first test which was created by Alan Turing, which defines the machine and human intelligence and compare it with what are the results which can be achieved using both. Then singularity, which defines the which defines the intelligence towards the innovation, like AR, virtual reality, automation, like AWS cloud computing or cloud migration segments. All that will come under the disciplinary. The applications which we might have experienced or which are used in day-to-day life while working are aligned towards robotics, as we discussed, aligned towards computer vision, aligns towards pattern recognition, intelligent agent, artificial creativity, and NLP by default. So all of these will have their own segments of developing mechanical or computer devices to perform tasks which require the precision to the which is specific to the industry. And trust me guys, these are very tedious. It may be civil industry to define the direction of construction or define the angles of the construction, or it could be a mechanical industry to correct to the correct decimal place to have the output, or it could be a computer program as well. Computer vision, which is these days is used in most of the products which we are using. It could be the self-driving cars, it could be traffic lights, it could be even your mobile applications or mobile systems which are computer vision enabled, which this has made a fantastic and a phenomenal progress in the artificial intelligence domain of consumers, which are nothing but end users, and giving them the correct experience. Then NLP, you have attended a session which basically have different techniques to understand the human intervention. So what and how we are speaking, what is the thought process going behind, and how are they mapped and then reproduced. So because mapping is very important when it comes to NLP, where we will have to correct human intelligence and the interpretation which is done by machines. And then pattern recognitions, which is based on the data and the AI probably historical data, which develops the patterns and predicts the future or action items which needs to be taken. And then the intelligent agent, which basically is an autonomous response. And which this is also something which has created a history in consumer experience. It could be chatbots on websites, it could be automated calls, it could be automated customer service with the options which you create. So that's intelligent agent, which is again created and the segmented on the AI part. And artificial creativity is a branch of AI which works with the art in discipline also, whether it's music, whether it's poetry, whether it's drawing, whatever it is. And it has its own creativity structures and algorithm which recommends the way the application should happen in the music and poetry also. And that's a phenomenal success as well. Now, if you give an objective to a machine, it will come with a poem for that objective, maybe happy birthday or anything for your girlfriend. If you want to do, your machine will give you a poem which you can talk about it. So inputs has to be correct, guys. So if you do correct input, you will have the creativity also having the artificial aspects. So that's all from my side for today on different disciplines where AI can be applied and worked out. If there are any questions, I'm open to take Q&As. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session. Participants, is there any question? Raise your hand if you wish to ask any question. Okay, sir, there is no question from the participant.
No
Sir,
problem.
sir, your video, sir.
Sorry?
Switch on your video.
Okay. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to you, speaker, sir.
Dr. Amit Andre, very fantastic presentation from your side, and you explain all the variety of applications of AI in all the interdisciplinary areas, right from handling the large data, big data, Then it is from medical, that is the healthcare treatment management system, how AI can be applied to the medical field, in the business field, how to define the customer behavior, computer vision, how it is applicable to the driverless car, the NLP is also we have discussed, then the pattern recognition, the intelligent agent like chatbot, automated calls, then the artificial creativity that you focus on that is you can use the artificial intelligence in the art, music, poetry, and writing. Very, very fantastic presentation. You have covered a spectrum of the applications of the AI in particularly interdisciplinary approaches. Thank you very much, Mr. Amit Andre, for being with us and enlightening us with the applications of the AI in